I will, John. I saw what you put in the private chat, and I'm going to honor it. Hello, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
That's cool. This is a nifty setup.
You've never used StreamYard
right?
before?
Well, I don't stream anymore since I got banned from Twitch.
Yo, fuck Twitch. Why did they ban you?
Sorry, I did stream on Onision Speaks just shit on the documentary. I was shitting on the documentary. I was actually just asking people for 2.5 hours, what am I guilty of? Do you guys have an answer to that question?
You're guilty of being famous on the internet and,
Well, okay,
not being nice to women.
Onision, let me be very clear here, right?
Tell me how I wasn't nice to women.
I don't know. You got a lot of women mad at you. No,
I know, but what did I? No one's like, you have people going on there, and they're like, I am traumatized because of what he did, and it's like, okay, what did he do?
You didn't give him a hug.
Apparently, I did give someone a hug. Apparently, that was a really bad thing, giving that person a hug.
Okay, so
not hug them.
All right, I'll try to be serious about it, right? I'm smoking some hookah here, so forgive me if I'm a little hookah baked. But let me be as clear as I can, right? I don't think that
you don't like me.
I don't. Well, no, I don't like you at all. But just so I can, let me speak.
How could you like me with all the things that you've seen?
Can I talk on my own channel? I was going to say something positive about you.
Onision is a controlling manipulator. You cannot talk on your own channel.
I don't think that you have done anything that crosses the line of criminality, or at least there's no evidence of you doing so. Okay.
Right. So what did I actually do though? That's the question. Because
I think it is incredibly creepy. Okay. I think it's incredibly creepy for you to go to a state where age of consent is 17 to hook up with someone who at that age. What's
the age of consent in my state?
I don't care, sir.
It's 16.
Lovely.
So what I'm saying is when you go to another state that has an even higher age of consent, it kind of like doesn't really mesh well with your point, because you kind of frame that like, oh, you went to a state because the age of consent was that way. But as I understand, if your state is 18 and you go to a state that's 17, you're still from an 18 state, and that would be illegal, as I understand. So
so let me point to a situation with somebody that I know and no longer associate with at all, right? Mm-hmm. They specifically choose to hook up with people that are just at age of consent, right? Because they get turned on by it.
What? Tell me the pattern. Just real quick. Hold on. Talking about what you're talking about. What's the pattern? You said they only hook up with people. So
I think your pattern is to hook up with women who find them emotionally vulnerable.
No, the person you're talking about.
Who? Oh, for my person?
Yeah.
No,
who is this person, by the
way? This is someone that I do not associate with at all. Someone I knew from high school, right?
Oh, okay.
And they're constantly, posting about their girlfriends being like 18 and shit.
How old are they?
Huh?
How old's the guy?
32 now. Yeah, no, I'm not okay with that, right? And that's just for me, right? Okay. Because it's clear to me the reason why he does that, okay, and he's been very honest about it, is because they're young, they're stupid, they're easy to lie to, they're easy to manipulate, and they don't question him on anything, right? To me, I find that very manipulative, okay? And when I've seen, or at least what I have seen, and you can go ahead and say that this is false, is perfectly fine, your relationships with these girls, right, tends to cross into that level for me. I do think that you seek out women who are emotionally weak, and it tends to be women who are younger. Do I think that would stop? Stop. Just one thing. Do I think that would stop you from hooking up with someone who is at your age or older? No. I think for you, you need somebody who is weaker than you mentally.
Huh. That's an interesting therapy-based theory, like a psychologist type of thing. I'm
not a psychologist. Don't worry.
I'm married to a psych major, so that helps. But as far as you need to be smarter than the person you're married to. I'm married to a psych major who has a better degree than I do. I don't have a degree, actually. I have a diploma from high school. So
are you? Hold on.
Because you left Sky when you were being book smart, right? For a 17-year-old.
Sorry,
being book smart doesn't mean shit. Okay, being book smart to me doesn't mean shit because I've met
a psych major does mean something.
I doesn't mean anything to me because I've met some highly educated idiots in my life. Okay, I think that you're a very clever person, right? I absolutely do. I think you're incredibly intelligent. And look, man, I've got a high school degree too, right? I don't consider myself to be a fucking moron, right? I don't.
Stephen Arash went to school for 6 years to be in journalism.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, look.
Did it? Oh my God.
6 years.
Oh, why?
Because he needed 6 years to learn journalism.
But a blogger can do a better job than he can. He can't even research his facts.
So then we can agree that being highly educated doesn't actually translate to being actually intelligent.
Can you tell me what you think of? Did you see the part with my dad? Can you tell me what you think of my dad?
I think your dad is, and I've actually said this pretty clear. I think your dad is an absentee father. I do think that you two display a lot of the same tendencies, right? I think that for him, hold on. I think that for him, he probably wants absolutely nothing to do with you and never has. I think he's more.
Why did he go on the documentary? He's a narcissist. He wanted everything about himself.
He's
like, you don't know how hard it is to be Onision's dad.
Well, because Onision has accused him of doing certain things, so I'm sure that's why I wanted to go in the documentary to make himself look like a good person.
He didn't bring any of that up though. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? This is some guy that got
he did.
You saw him once a year, right? You saw your dad.
He did bring up. He brought up that he said that he's not a child predator because he had his own child go through a psych eval, which proved he didn't do anything according to the psych eval. But he didn't actually talk about the conclusion. He said he wasn't under investigation, but in order to get custody, he had to have a psych eval, and the psych eval proved that nothing happened. But yet he didn't mention that the person that he violated wasn't legally obligated to ever see him again, yet his other two kids were legally obligated to see him again. That's a fucking huge red flag that the kid who says that you violated them as a 7-year-old, it's a 7-year-old talking about shit they're not supposed to know. They say that that through the review or whatever, they conclude she doesn't need to see him ever again. And he's like,
yeah, but to be clear here, right? That doesn't mean that he actually did what she accused him of. It just means that the court can clearly see that there's.
So do you think Papa Onision is a good guy? Is he a credible source code? Do you think that? Because I don't think.
No, I absolutely don't.
Right. Okay. So in the Steve Sarch article, he says that I was 17 when my dad and I got in a fight, and that's according to my dad. And I posted my college transcripts because I never got a degree, but I did go to college a couple of years when I was in high school as a Running Start program. Okay. And I proved that I was living with my mom through the college transcripts. And then they were dumb enough in the documentary to post, I'm fucking freezing. That's why I sound like chattery teeth. But no, in the documentary, they posted the documents from juvenile hall. And in the juvenile hall documents, it proved that I was telling the truth about being 15 and not 17. And his initial story was that he just put his hand on my chest before he got the shit kicked out of him. Mm-hmm. And then he changed it in the documentary to he shook me, but he wished he was choking me, is what he said. He said, I probably wished I was
shook you while trying to take the headphones off. So
look, hey, Onision, I'll put it like this, right? If your dad actually wanted anything to do with you, and this is not me, don't take this as a pot shot against you. I think your dad's a piece of shit too. Okay. If your dad was actually concerned with your well-being, I highly doubt he would have given away all parental rights as soon as that happened. Right. A father doesn't do that to their kid.
Well, he was really scared of me from that point on. You could see it in his face. It's something about when you beat the shit out of someone, they look at you different. A grown-ass man, when you beat the shit out of a grown-ass man, they look at you different. That's why they called the cops on me once because I wouldn't eat dinner. And it was the most stupid thing ever. I was sitting there smirking in front of the cop. Because I thought it was a joke. I thought the cops would take my side. And they said, do we need to take you down to juvenile hall, straighten you out? And that's when I lost my smirk. I was like, holy shit, you're really taking these guys seriously. They said they were going to they called the cops because I wouldn't eat dinner because I didn't want to eat. I wasn't hungry. And they were trying to force me to eat. And that's when I kind of lost a lot of faith in just the general system at play in Miamisburg, Ohio. And my mom got me back shortly after. So, yeah, no. My dad.
So what would they file that under? Would they file that under like civil disobedience and not eating his dinner? You got to lock him up for.
I have no idea. They didn't do anything. They just like left after threatening to take me to juvenile hall for, I guess thinking it was fucking funny or something. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I was just kind of like dead after they said, "We're gonna take you down to juvenile hall." I was like, "For what?" So once I heard that, I just kind of lost my amusement, and I was pretty crushed, significantly crushed. And then my mom took me back, and that's when I went back to the Running Start program and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it like this, Onision. If your point of bringing up your father was that the documentary is dishonest and disingenuous,
no, that wasn't it.
Okay.
My point was is that when it comes to my father's word versus my word, I proved with they proved with the document, and I proved with the document that first of all, Steve Asarge, I don't even know why he got fired from Newsweek, but he got fired for they did a good thing there because he didn't do his research, and he kept insisting that I was there when I was 17 and I wasn't. And my father was trying to say I was 17 because he didn't want to admit that he got his ass beat by maybe a 15-year-old. I don't know what his reasoning was, but it was interesting to see him lie in a documentary and nobody care. And him being caught in that lie only leads to the conclusion that once again, it seems like the facts are aligned in my favor because when he hasn't proven anything I've ever said.
Well, okay,
is not honest, but I have.
If you want to come on here and talk about how your dad's a terrible,
I don't have an agenda. I saw you guys talking.
Okay, so let me just be clear here. Right?
I just don't want to live in an. I don't want to live in an echo chamber. That's why I'm here.
I don't disagree that your father is an awful person, right? I don't. Okay. Now you asked me what I thought you were guilty of earlier. Okay. I think that you do prey on women who are emotionally weak and vulnerable. I think that you like to dominate over other people. I do. Right. I think I've seen that in the way that you interact with people. I will say that when it comes to people like Shiloh, I do think that she's a liar and dishonest. However, I do think that you did some really creepy things with her. And
like what?
Like what?
Yeah. What creepy things?
Look, there are so many accusations against you, okay? To the point where it just becomes
like absurd.
What? Huh?
Like what?
Taking legal guardianship of a girl. And
yeah, that's already been debunked by Sarah herself.
Oh, it has.
Yeah. Onision.com/Sarah has numerous statements that she's made confirming what I've been saying, where she actually confessed to a lot of stuff. She made her initial live stream was basically
Why
her
was she
like
living with you.
She said that her mom was beating her, and so we took her in for that reason. And then I think she got kicked out twice for two different things. One of the times she got kicked out was because this girl Lane she was talking to. Those texts that they were having, Sarah and Lane were having, got leaked to Kai, and Kai showed that to me, and it showed that Sarah was plotting. She was like she was talking about like having feelings for Kai, and I had repeatedly made it clear that she wasn't supposed to be having feelings for Kai, that she's only there because she said her mom beat her, and so we kicked her out for that reason, because we didn't have any appropriate shit going on in her house. And the other time we kicked her out was because of that fucking stupid comment that I made, because I thought it was fucking funny. She was sticking her ass up in the air on a beanbag chair, and I was walking upstairs with a box in my hands or whatever, and it just looked so stupid. I just said "that booty" though, and I kept walking. Apparently she got really fucking like offended by that, because like normally when I say something though, I'm making fun of it like it's fucking ugly or something. Like if Billy the Fridge showed his ass crack, I'd be like, "that ass crack though." But she took it a different way, and I didn't find out about it until months later. And then she had a mental breakdown because I was kicking her out. I said, "I can't have you around if you're going to be thinking shit I'm saying is inappropriate."
Why do so many girls who interact with you have mental breakdowns?
Who else? Shiloh?
Sure, yeah, Shiloh.
So that's two people. Who else?
There's some Billy person. I don't know.
Billy. I don't think Billy really had a. I don't think. Well, you guys are.
So I just kind of get like backdraft that.
You guys are like live streaming about it, so you know a little bit. But no, Billy never really had a breakdown per se. The worst Billy ever did was she went into the woods and hit a tree with a stick because she was mad because she got caught doing something she wasn't supposed to. So that was it. So yeah, no, you said that why do women have breakdowns so much? It's literally Shiloh and Sarah had a breakdown when we were just literally housing her, so she didn't have to get beat by her mom, according to her. So Not a lot of breakdowns.
Is that why you had guardianship of him or of her?
No, she like I said, it's already debunked. If you go to Nexion.com/Sarah, it has the.
So you didn't have guardianship of her?
I didn't. No.
So why was she staying with you for that amount of time when she's clearly unstable?
She wasn't unstable the whole time. She was pretty stable most of the time. She was actually pretty chill. We played video games sometimes, like most play Deadliest Warrior together. Watch anime sometimes when I wasn't working and shit. But no, like
how old were you and how old was Sarah at this time?
I think we have like a we're just people hanging out. So it's
okay, that's fine. How old were you and how old was she?
When she was 16. Oh God, what's she now? She's 20 now. I think she's 20 now. So
at the time, how old were you and how old was she?
15-year difference. So she's 20. I'm 35. So that means that it was like when she was around from the safe haven from her mom. Yeah, she was that age gap, 15-year age gap.
So you were roughly twice her age.
Roughly.
And just hanging out on the couch, watching anime, playing video games with her roughly every day.
No, not roughly every day. Like once every 2 weeks, maybe.
She was living in your house, right? What do you do in your house?
I used to work on YouTube day and night, constantly. So she was actually mostly hanging out with Kai. Our interactions normally included me saying that she looked like Drew Carey, or me saying she reminded me of Meg Griffin, or me saying, "Hey, stupid," stuff like that. Really petty older brother kind of shit. Not like anything that really was like. It was really just this person that was around to play video games with sometimes. And
actually, it's pretty interesting that you brought up Kai because I guess there's been a few people have said, and I'm pretty sure you've debunked this on your website, right? That a lot of these girls would first interact with Kai, correct?
Well, what girls?
Regina and then the Sarah girl, according to what I've heard, they would interact with Kai first and then start interacting.
Do you actually think I've ever had a conversation with Regina?
I don't know. You tell me.
I've never talked to her. Not once.
Never talked with her.
Not through text, not through phone.
I don't think Regina's
ever
said that either, to be honest.
I think what Regina said was that her and Kai were exchanging some pretty sexually charged conversations, and
the belly button photos.
I send.
According to Regina, Kai sent her a topless.
Where's that?
Not a topless photo, but was in a video chat with her, and she answered the call without her top on.
Right. So what does that mean, though? Because you're not talking about someone showing another person tits. You're just talking about someone saying shoulders. That's like the bare assumption, just because of the fact that they didn't say specifically, "Oh, there's boobs in it." They're just like, "Oh, they didn't wearing a shirt." So that's just an assumption.
So hold on. You're telling me that when she said topless, she had the camera framed roughly right here.
That would not shock me.
I don't believe you.
That's okay. So you're holding your phone.
Why?
You're holding your phone. Okay. And if you have your phone, if you turn it horizontally or even vertically, sometimes it might only encompass your shoulder, depending on, how wide frame angle your face cam is.
Do you think it's appropriate to answer a call with a minor without your telephone? You
realize they only have a 2-year age gap, right?
I'm just asking you.
They have a 2-year age gap. You understand this?
I'm just asking you.
So if let's say an 18-year-old answers a phone from a 16-year-old, and they both have the same.
Do you have access to the video chat in any way, shape, or form, or any of the images that were being sent over to Kai?
No, I don't think so.
Because Regina says that you did.
Yeah, I saw that. I have no fucking clue what she's talking about.
Okay.
Why? Well, here's the thing I don't understand. Like, people do like framing.
Well, so just to be clear here, it's not something you've actually debunked. You're just saying she's a liar and she says you're a liar.
How could I debunk it?
Hey, I'm just trying to get all the information out there.
No, seriously, how could I debunk it? You can't have receipts for things that you never took part in.
Well, you say you never took part in.
Right, but how could I prove it if I never took part in it?
Well, I guess I find it weird that there's all these different girls who constantly come out with these allegations against you.
Which girls?
Excuse me?
You're just talking about Regina, Shiloh, Sarah?
Do you want me to go through a list of names? Because I'm not
Yeah.
going to be... No.
Yeah, I'll tell you about each and every one of them. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Hey, tell me about each and every one of them.
Okay, so there's this chick named Beck. And I have... Beck came to our house because she wrote a love song about Kai. She's a college student in her 20s. Came to the house, and she... first thing she did was she went over to hug Kai. Kai was laying down in our bed watching a projector movie or whatever. And she bends over in front of Sarah and I, full bare ass, shows us her full bare ass in front of Sarah. Sarah and I look at each other like we're kind of mortified that this woman just showed her full bare ass. I don't know if she's wearing a G-string or whatever, but she just bends over to hug Kai. We see it all. And I was like, I'm like thinking, how'd you get off a plane? And you're just bare ass on a plane. There's like bacteria and shit. What are you thinking? The only other significant memory I have with her is her stinking up my house with the smell of shit because she clogged up our toilets and was laughing like a nerd about how funny it was that she filled her whole house with the smell of shit. So that is the summary of Ginger Beck. And she was like later on, I think, banned from our server because after she went home, she was like, or maybe she just left. I think she just left because her feelings were hurt. But I was like, dude, like you're acting bitter towards us right now because Kai just didn't like you. And that's not our problem. And then she got really upset and left, and we hadn't spoken to her since. But she's a chick that we never did anything with, and she's mad because God knows what. Like, it's another situation where they're not saying specifically what they went through. They just say that they went through something, and they don't tell you.
So she's just a bad person that's accusing you of miscellaneous things for revenge?
What else? What is she accusing me of?
I said miscellaneous things.
Well,
you're telling me the story, and you're saying that she's mad at you or upset about you and saying that you did things to her, but she's not being specific. So I'm just saying that in your own words, right? I'm not trying to trap you or anything. I'm just asking you right now. In your own words, she went to your house, acted inappropriately, got her feelings hurt, left, and now is accusing you, right? Because you named her specifically, so I'm sure you're more aware of what she said to you.
I'm halfway through episode 3, and that was one of the most recent things I saw. That's why I mentioned her. But yeah, I don't think she's a even remotely, like, I really don't know that much about her, but I do know that she was living with her college ex-boyfriend, and he was kicking her out relatively soon. And I was just like, well, that sucks, bro. And that was like, one of the last times I talked to her in that interaction. But like I said, like I would love to, all I saw in the documentary was her saying that she was a victim, and I'm sitting here going, a victim of what? Like, no one's saying what they're a victim of for the most part.
So I'm just trying to establish this, right? So that's 2 girls, right?
Hey, Sarah. you got a $4.99 donation. It says Onision has stated in videos that he and Kai would go through each other's phones as an open, honest couple, like once or twice. We have looked at each other's phones, but it was like a long time ago. And also what Regina. I just want to finish this real quick.
No.
Regina said that.
I need to ask you a question right now.
Bud,
if somebody was sending images over to Kai and Kai had them on her phone, you did have access to them, and you have admitted that you, as an open and honest couple, she wouldn't hide anything that was on her phone from you, correct?
Well, first of all, Kai's transgender. So
yes or no?
Kai's transgender, so it's he.
Okay.
But additionally, I very
apologize for misgendering Kai. Okay.
I very rarely access the iPad because the
answer is yes.
What?
The answer would be yes. Doesn't matter if you rarely did it. I'm just saying, did you or not have access to images that were sent over to Kai? It's a yes or no question. You can say it's rarely. That's fine. That would still be yes.
Okay. Do you have access to knives that can stab people?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So what's your point?
I'm just clarifying something.
Okay. Yeah. No. What she was talking about was an iPad. I don't use the iPads. The kids use the iPads. So I don't know why I'd be using an iPad.
Have access to the iPads?
Huh?
Do you have access to the iPads?
Yeah, just like you have access to knives that can stab people.
So I don't know your point have access to images that were being sent over to Kai.
I don't know because I don't know of any images.
The answer would be yes. You have access.
I would have to know.
Have like password access to the photo albums?
I would have to know that there were images in order to say I had access to images. I don't know of any images.
Okay, so if images,
so but do the kids have access to the images?
You would have had access to those images if they were being sent.
I would have to take a time machine to actually confirm that I would have to take. No, I'm telling you that.
I don't know if I have knives in my house right now.
I'm telling you that back then I didn't observe the laptops or the iPads. I should say I didn't really observe the iPad, so I can't tell you what was
access to the iPads.
I couldn't tell you what was going through to the iPads for certain back then when they were talking.
Right? You don't need to deny everything to this extent. You could say, like, look, I don't know of any photos.
Being elaborate.
Yeah, I had access to the iPads or whatever, but I have never been aware of any photos. You just say that. I don't know why you need to go on this whole thing about how, well, I mean, I rarely ever use the iPads, and dude, you don't need to do that.
I'm being thorough.
Well, I appreciate you being thorough.
Here's the thing.
Like with Shiloh, a different way, though.
Let me use an example. For Shiloh, she doesn't want to be specific. When she's specific, that's when she actually has to collaborate her points. She has to make sure that everything fits perfectly. When you are painfully specific, that generally indicates that maybe, just possibly, you might be telling the truth. It's very convenient for people to keep things simple. It's who are not.
Do you like Romeo and Juliet?
No, I thought it was a ridiculous story.
Oh, yeah, I do too, but there's this line that I love in it, right? It's the best line ever. Do you know what it is?
No, there's many lines.
Oh, okay.
Bro, what are you talking about?
I'll say right now. We think the Onion Boy doth protest too much.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I don't remember that line.
Hey, Steve. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
How you doing?
So Onision, just to be clear here, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying, because I can't prove it, okay? I can't prove it at all, right? Just like you're saying you can't I can't prove it, okay? But if images were being sent, if she was doing topless chats with this girl, you would have had access to it. Yes or no? If it was happening, you would at least have had access to it.
It depends on whether or not it actually went through to the iPad.
I'm not saying that you 100% saw anything. I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying I don't know that stuff was going through to the iPad at that time, so I can't say I would have access to it for sure.
Did you have access to an iPad?
I had access to like iPad.
Okay, because Regina's statement's pretty specific about Kai stating this thing about an iPad, right?
Yeah, but it's very unspecific about what was seen when this person allegedly answered the phone with their shoulders at the very.
Well, that was a video chat. Regina also said there were photos being exchanged between the two.
Yeah. There's like nothing other than belly button examples. That was weird.
Okay, so belly buttons of what, a 16, 17-year-old?
Huh?
I'm just asking.
No, a belly button of Kai.
So Regina was never sending photos.
I have no idea. I literally have not looked into their conversations at all.
But you did have access to the conversations.
Yeah, just like you have access to knives. I could kill people.
All right, perfect.
What's going on? Like, what do we?
He's asking me about whether or not I had access to my own iPads.
Yeah, you have a great evil laugh, by the way, Onision. I got to say,
I have many laughs.
Yeah, I could tell.
All right, so I actually have a question. How did you even stumble across this channel? And like, what exactly did you want to speak about?
I just posted a reaction part 1 to episode 3 of the documentary, and it featured you guys right next to my video.
Oh, it did. Okay, so we were like recommended.
I clicked on it and I was like, "Hey, look at that. Those are some guys that can bounce off what I just saw." Because I was just watching the episode and I only got through like 20 minutes and I was like, "I got to take a break for the day. This is fucking too much." So I saw you guys and I was like, "I could deal with some people telling me what they think about it." Because I'm watching it and I'm like, "This is so batshit crazy to me. The shit that they're saying and the stuff that they're trying like." Because you guys, I mean, you have to know that at least some of that. Someone said Regina and Kai are 2 years apart. There is no argument. Okay.
So just hold on. I'm not going to address you. I'm just addressing Jess Carter. Just in case anybody was unaware. My point there is that if Onision has access to these images, Onision is significantly older than Regina. That's all. That's why I'm just trying to figure it out. It sounds like if there were images exchanged, if there were, then Onision would have had access to them.
As I understand from the documentary, what Regina specifically said was, I think she said that Kai stated, oh my God, I think James could see this through the iPad or something like that. But that statement doesn't make sense because I don't know why I would care to use the iPad because the iPad was for our kids.
Well, then afterwards, what did she say? Because you're pretty familiar with it.
I don't know.
She say? What did she say after that?
I think that was like episode 2, which was last week.
She said that you said keep going. Said to keep.
Is there?
We're going to quote
a question
she said that Kai said that you had access to all the images being sent back and forth because you had the iPad.
That doesn't make sense because I didn't like using the iPad. It's stupid. I like using my phone. Fuck. Now I lost my question.
Well, I look. Here's the thing, right? It's still your property. You called it your iPad, so
yeah. Well, just like everything in the house is yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if you're a family, pretty much everything is yours.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? If my wife, right, was having inappropriate conversations of any nature, right, because we're married, right?
You'd have to know.
But you're an open and honest couple. Why wouldn't you know what she's up to? Or he's up to. I apologize. That was not intentional.
So Kai wasn't like into Regina. First off, Regina started out with the lie saying that she was 2 years older than Kai, as she admitted on the show. And then she later on revealed that she's 2 years younger. Okay. And she doesn't include like why Kai stopped talking to her and why they just like weren't. I think she implied that it had something to do with like pictures or something like, oh, because I wasn't sending as much, Kai wasn't interested in me or something like that. And it's like, this is like really taboo to say, really taboo. But like, Regina is Regina. Like, I don't know why like she thinks that she's like hot shit, but like she's Regina. Like, the first time I saw a picture of her was on a screenshot from Chris Hansen's live show, and I was like, who the fuck is that? And they're like, oh, that's Regina. I'm like, seriously, that's Regina? Like, this is really what the big thing is over? Like with like for instance, like, fuck, there's no like politically correct way to say that like someone is incredibly not something you would ever it's just something like you would never be into a person like that. Like, to me, she's so.
You can say she's ugly. If that's
your opinion, I know.
Scared home.
I know, but because then I'll turn into Donald Trump. You know, she's not my type. Like, it's not.
Yeah, I
don't want to say that, but it's like it's so unfathomable. And like I was browsing over Lolcow.
You be nicer about it. She hit the ugly tree. She hit every brand.
I was browsing over Lolcow, and they're fucking brutal to her. Like, they really just go savage like against Regina, and it's like I think it's because it's so like fucking apparent that this makes no sense. Like, Sarah in the picture, people get it. Like, Sarah actually met us. Shiloh in the picture, people get it because Shiloh actually met me. Regina is like, oh, I never met them, but I'm still here for some reason.
So let me clarify something. Are you saying that Sarah is?
So I guess it would be.
Regina is not.
Hold on, Crow. Give me a second. So it'd be fair to say that she's not your type. She's not the type that you'd be attracted to. She's just not your type. Is that fair?
No, I'm not saying anything like that because that's Donald Trump's words. It's a fucked up thing to say. I'm saying it's really hard to think about. Like, I would pursue somebody who just doesn't remotely reflect any of my interests whatsoever. And also,
yeah.
And
you simplify it, man.
I just don't want to be like saying shit out of context or anything.
Well, okay, so you don't find Regina attractive. Is that fair?
I find her to be incredibly repulsive.
Okay.
Like, not just that. Like, one of the ugliest people I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not talking. She actually doesn't. She in the documentary, she didn't look horrifying, but I saw a screenshot of like her face next to like a photo she took when she was like, I don't know, 18 or something, and it was like one of the scariest things I've ever seen. Like absolutely scary. And to go back to your question, you're asking about do you go back to your question, do I think that Sarah was attractive or Billy was attractive?
Repulsive, or do you find her attractive? It's okay to be honat about that.
I'm honest about a lot.
Okay,
what I just
he's the most honest YouTuber.
I don't need
to be honest if you think she busted dog. That's all right. You know what I mean?
No, obviously Sarah's not hideous and Billy's not hideous and Shiloh is pretty gross actually, but that's just because of the person she's become. So yeah, it's like a personality thing. You could see Shiloh's personality kind of like cracking through her skin as she's talking. Like you can just see the years and years of just torment reeking through that. Well, just because, like, if you look up her ex-boyfriend and stuff, it's like a reoccurring event with her. What's that?
Two people in a situation.
In the documentary, they kind of made it seem like Kai left Regina or whatever the hell her name is for Sarah, and then they just put her name as Regina's friend in the documentary.
That is so. See, what was funny is we were both talking about that. I was like, man, Sarah must really fucking hate that because Regina apparently kissed Sarah when Sarah wasn't an adult, and Sarah was like freaking out about how gross it was that Regina tried to kiss Sarah, or actually did kiss Sarah, and they've been off and on again falling out as a result of just how fucking weird Regina is. But apparently everyone's pissed at Regina and Shiloh now because they went forward with the documentary despite everyone saying they didn't want to do it. So,
all right, so
despite themselves saying they weren't going to do it and that they didn't want any part of it.
Well, that's how it works with some people. You can't trust what some people say.
Lectured Repzilla.
Oh my God.
So real quick, because people have been wanting me to bring it up, I was going to ask you a couple more questions. But if does the iPad sync with the cloud?
We're so obsessed with the iPad. This is like how many years ago?
No.
I got an iPad question too, just because I got some.
What does this remind me of?
Onision, does the iPad sync up with the cloud?
You're talking about.
Does the iPad, like every other Apple device, upload to the cloud where anybody on an Apple device will be able to access what is there?
Right. When did the cloud come out? Was it out when the iPad first launched?
Onision, I'm asking you.
All right, let me get in a time machine, go into the settings of my iPad back then, and find out whether or not it synced with the cloud. I don't know. I've told you repeatedly that was the kid's iPad, so I don't know if it was syncing or not.
The iCloud came out in 2011, dude.
Okay.
Simple Google search.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, when I say like I don't have access to some, I don't have not access. I don't have excessive use of something.
You said you like using your phone though. Okay, so I could figure you're familiar with your own devices, right? Something that you regularly use, not the iPad. Does your phone have access to the cloud?
My own cloud.
What's that? Cloud. Oh, it's separate.
Yeah.
So the devices that you own that are in your name sync up to different clouds in your own house.
So yeah, I guess that would be fair to assume that since Kai set up that one, that was possibly in Kai's cloud. Possibly.
But I thought you were an open and honest couple and you shared everything.
Why? I don't know how you could share clouds. Isn't it based on numbers, like phone numbers or something? Is that possible to have two phone numbers on the same cloud?
Well, it's actually the account.
Right. So we have different accounts because we're different people.
So the iPad's yours, but what you're telling me is the iPad is yours, which you've already said it's yours.
Well,
right?
it's like it's community property.
It's yours, but it was her account that was set up to it, not yours, but it was your device.
Community property.
Okay, so again,
in a marriage, there's community property.
Device. You said it was your device. I mean, it's okay. We can move on from this point.
Right. So community property is everybody in the community's device.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, it's like marital law, you know?
Somebody sent me a message that says you could potentially watch the convo in real time if it is synced to the cloud. iChat would sync on her phone and the iPad at the same time. Is that a possibility or plausible?
It's possible. I don't see why that wouldn't be possible.
Okay.
So what we can just confirm here, right? This is not. This is
I
not.
feel like there's so much to cover.
This is not definitive proof of anything. Okay, I want to make that as clear as I can for everybody who's watching right now, in the chat and everything. Not definitive proof of anything, but we can at least establish, right, that there was a definite possibility, right, that both devices were synced up on the exact same account and that you would have had access to any chats that were going on, which is something that Regina has stated was happening. So when you're saying that it's completely implausible, right, or at least highly unlikely that it doesn't make any sense, right, that you would have been able to see what was going on or you would have responded to anything, you could have actually, right, if they were synced up to on the exact same account, because both devices are owned by you, that you would have been able to see what was going on with Kai chatting with these other girls, specifically Regina.
Whatever happened, I didn't see. So that's kind of what I'm confused about. Is like
what I'm saying
is like if you're gonna not trust me, if you're gonna not trust me when I say I didn't see anything, why would you trust anything else I said? You know, like you're asking me questions that are looking for answers, but it's like only the answers you want and nothing else.
No, you're absolutely wrong there, because I'm not saying definitively that you saw it. I'm saying that it was a possibility. So when you're saying it doesn't make any sense, I'm just establishing that yes, it does.
You're also talking about stuff that, like, isn't it okay? This is what I want to ask you guys. I just remembered it about the documentary. Isn't it? Are you guys a little bit bothered that they say like stuff like actual text under it or actual tweet, but they never post the original or any proof that they're real?
It's deceptive, yeah.
Because the photos they posted of Kai with the belly photos, those apparently were posted to Kai's Instagram. So it's a big question mark as to whether or not they were even ever sent and not just taken from the Instagram. That's what I'm confused about when I look at that shit. Like, I don't know how you can have a documentary and not post actual proof, and instead you just like assume the audience will believe you because you typed it out in some tweet generator.
Documentary.
That's Michael Moore's playbook.
Yeah, it's a tactic. Documentaries use deception and shit. That's a basic practice of documentaries. You know.
Yeah, look, documentary does not establish or prove anything definitive about you.
Yeah.
Do you think it's weird? Do you think it's weird that this has been going on for like a year and a half now, and there's been no FBI talking to me, no police interviewing me, no one whatsoever of any authority actually doing anything?
Onision, absolutely not, because I've already said I think you know exactly what the laws are where you live.
I wish I was a mastermind, dude. That'd be great.
I didn't call you a mastermind. Don't buddy. Don't.
I wish I was educated. That'd be great.
I didn't say that you were highly educated at all.
You said okay.
You and I both have high school degrees, and that's about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Like I went to college for a little bit and I dropped out. Whatever. Doesn't mean anything. Okay. I'm just saying that I think that you are at least intelligent enough to do a basic Google search and realize what the laws are where you live. Okay. That's why I've said I don't think that documentary establishes anything close to criminal behavior. And in fact, in episode 3 does admit that the laws have not caught up to the internet and that you have not done anything that you could actually be prosecuted for.
If the laws had been modern, what would I be in trouble for?
Yeah, what do you want the laws to be? Because I don't really agree with that statement at the end.
I'm not making a definitive statement of what I think the law should be. I'm just saying.
What would be the law?
Your defense, Onision, that documentary establishes that you have not done anything criminally wrong.
I think what it is,
it has for a year and a half.
It has
no police had ever interviewed you, and I said yes, I believe you. You know why? Because I don't think criminally you've done anything.
Then why do they keep calling me like something they would call a criminal?
Because that's the narrative, presumably.
Yeah. But that's like life destroying shit. You can't you think a person can get a job after the fucking Pierce County sheriff goes on and says this guy's a predator. Like, how can you function after that?
He also said they're looking for real witnesses and shit, or real victims.
Right. Right. So he calls all of. So he called Sarah, Shiloh, and all those people not real.
Why don't you sue them for defamation? If you're saying you hold on. If you're saying you've debunked everything and you have proof of everything that's been debunked, and that he's going on and maligning you and defaming you, why don't you sue them for defamation? Because let's be honest, you're wealthier than I am, and I wouldn't put up with that shit.
And plus, a lot of people aren't happy with the performance of the documentary anyway.
Yeah.
Performance?
Well, why'd they call it Onision in real life and then halfway through just shift the focus off Onision to like everyone around him and then have
everything
Edwin,
else to
Steve and fucking Chris
Hansen?
Isn't it weird that they're like isn't it weird that like it's like Onision in real life, and yet the majority of the people on the show haven't met me and they didn't even have me in real life on the show? It's just like fucking weird. Well, choose a different name, like Onision, Speculation and Paranoia. That would be a good name. It's like we're fucking freaked out by this dude who we're not sure what's really going on. This is our story.
I mean,
did you guys see the contract they sent me to be on that show?
Why don't you show us?
Yeah.
It's on onision.net/Discord. It'll take you to the Discord server. And the witch hunt section, there's a witch hunt. In the witch hunt section, there's a full contract that they sent me, and it basically says that they said, "Do you want to be on the show? But first, if you want to be on the show, you have to sign this contract first." And the contract basically releases any way I could ever sue them for any reason. Like if they said we can edit a context, we can do whatever the fuck we want, we can use your name, we can use your videos, all that stuff. And you can't do shit about it. And I'm like, my mind's blown because I'm looking at this and I'm like, you guys just want me to sign this. That's really what this is about. You want me to sign it, and then you can say whatever the fuck you want about me, and then I can't do shit. You don't even have to have me on the show. So
you showed or
so
explained
presumably, like Edwin had to sign a similar contract.
Something.
I mean, that's cool. I guess that's cool. If he did get the same contract, that's awesome. That'd be great. That there's a little bit less maliciousness involved. But I can't trust them to
I'm just
sign
saying
the
because he
document.
said that he had it modified, but like apparently not modified enough, so they couldn't use like the victim stories that didn't want to be used. And then what was the other thing he said? It's fucking something else. Like, so I didn't get paid. His little stab at Chris Hansen. All he said was like, "I think Chris Hansen bit off more than he can chew." That was all of his rant, apparently.
He did say we'll go back into the thread here in a little bit, but Onision, can I ask you a quick question? Because you said that you have all this stuff on your website and everything, right?
Yeah, what's up?
How of the people you've actually met, right? I'm not talking about people online or anything, but of the women who have actually been to your home, how many of them have come forward with an accusation against you?
Like percentage of women I've encountered versus percent, or like
no. I'm just asking for a number.
Like, there's just, I mean,
5.
How many have been on the documentary, or how many have just
no.
About me?
In general,
people that have gone over to your house, right, have come forward and accused you of whatever, right? Because you say that you have a website where you.
Let's do that. Let's do the accused you of. How many women have accused me of being emotionally abusive? You want to go with that?
Sure.
Okay, I would say 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
Okay, and those are the only accusations that people have made against you. They have gone.
How many women have accused me of beating them? 0. How many women have accused me of sexual harassment? 0, as far as I know. Like anyone I've ever met. How many women have accused me of rape? 0, as far as I know. How many women have accused me of sexual assault? 0, as far as I know. How many women have accused me of any actual crime? 0, as far as I know. That I've actually met.
So then, like I said, of the women who have been to your home, that would mean that only 4 or 5 have actually accused you of doing something.
The emotionally
manipulative, inappropriate sexual behavior.
Manipulative is so fucking funny as an accusation because everyone is manipulative.
I am just asking for a number.
Yeah, the 4 or 5 have accused me of being manipulative or abusive emotionally.
So only 4 or 5 people have accused you of being inappropriate with them in any way, emotionally, physically, sexually.
I don't think has anyone. In the thing I just released, I covered Sarah getting caught with her own words in regards to She was no. I'm saying she was. I'm getting to where you want me to be.
You can go ahead and say that you can say that all these women have dirty fucking laundry and skeletons in their closet. All you want. That's perfectly fine by me. I'm just asking, of the people that have actually gone to your home and met you, right? How many have accused you of inappropriate behavior with them?
So that would be like 15%, which is again the 4 or 5.
What? So only 4 or 5 women
in total in my entire life, yes, that I'm aware of, who've actually been to my house and said shit.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
Because every single one of those people I kicked out of my life, I pissed them off.
So this is all just about revenge and going out.
Name a single person who came forward who I didn't kick out of my life.
Onision, that's not what I'm asking you.
Well, you just asked me, so all these women have been kicked out of your life, right? Something like that.
So all I'm asking you is why you feel like these 4 to 5 women have accused you of doing things inappropriate with them.
Because they're mad. Billy said she was mad at me and that she was a vindictive person, and we had a literal public dispute, and I won it for a while.
Could they have been mad at you for the way that you treated them?
I could be mad at Billy for the way she treated me.
Okay, but could they be mad at you for the way that you treated them?
You can be mad at anyone for that way they treated you if you wanted to perceive it a certain way.
Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out why 4 to 5 women would accuse you of gross inappropriate behavior.
Why did the majority of them not go on the documentary?
Why?
Yeah.
Why did you not go on the documentary?
Because of the contract.
Because it's first of all, they asked me to sign a contract that would sign away all my rights, so I couldn't sue them. So I can't do that. And also, it's a documentary that's
so then they could.
It's a documentary, but it's a documentary with a very clear agenda.
So that's not really a point against them.
If it was a fair and balanced, like they just wanted to make a documentary about something in general and not necessarily something with an obvious goal, i.e., praising Hansen and Ass Arch or whatever. And I mean, because like it's executive produced by someone that couldn't be trusted as far as I could throw him. That's Stephen Assange, because he spent like 30 minutes arguing with me, or 10 minutes or 10 to 15 minutes arguing with me about whether or not I was in Miamisburg, Ohio on 9/11. It's like, bro, I was fucking there. Like, you're arguing with me about shit that is in my life. Like, how stupid do you have to be to argue with me about my own life and shit I experienced? And he didn't believe me, and then he went with a slanderous article anyway. And even after I proved it was slanderous, it's still up. And when I tweeted at him about it, he was responding to someone who had like 7 followers, but he wouldn't respond to me saying, "Hey, bro, your article's slanderous, and here's the receipt." I pointed out that I was, in fact, in Miamisburg on 9/11, just like I fucking said. But so, like, when that documentary is run by people like that, why would I want to be in the same seat as them or anywhere near them? Like, that's why I'm wondering why Edwin was on it, because he doesn't like Shiloh. Shiloh was saying that she was going to kill herself in relation to him or relation to Real Stream News, and he just generally said that Shiloh lies and Shiloh's like, if you type in Edwin's generation and type in Shiloh, and you'll see one of the first things that comes up is him saying that Shiloh's a liar. And then a lot of people already know how he feels about Chris Hansen. He doesn't like Chris Hansen. He thinks Chris Hansen's shady as fuck. It's pointed out if he didn't point it out publicly, he pointed out in the video I just posted, which was our conversation about how he wants to give me time to talk about Chris Hansen because Chris Hansen is sketch. Not a lot of people like Chris Hansen because he made a lot of promises that he didn't follow through on, because he like I don't know, he just got so excited from getting all the fame from the Onision name that he was just like, just decided to get a little blown out of proportion there. But it caught up, and it's just like I warned people.
Not to cut you off or anything, but you did get donated a super chat, and it had a question for you. It said, "Do you have any regrets, and what would you do to either fix them or something like that?"
I didn't get a super chat. Big Money Crow just got.
Crow got the super chat, but it was a question for you.
Sorry, do I have any regrets?
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't fucking. When Sarah said my mom beats me, I would just even before that say like, not even talk to this person who's trying to be your bud. Like, she wasn't even really talking to me. She was talking to Kai, but Kai told me that Sarah said her mom was beating her, and so I was like, well, let's help her out, and we did help her out, and she admitted that we helped her out. She admitted we kept her away from drugs. She admitted we kept her away from a lot of hard situations back home, and illegal activity, and then she proceeded to shitting on us anyway.
So essentially, is it like your biggest regret, Sarah, or is
my biggest regret is not being able to see it coming and avoid it. That being those people.
Max sent a super chat.
Yeah,
so
just now.
I asked you this earlier, right? Will you be pursuing legal action if what they're saying is defamatory and you have proof that it's defamatory?
Yeah. So the proof was already posted.
So will you be seeking legal action?
Onision.com, all that shit. I am seeking. I've been seeking legal action. I'm in the process of taking legal action against a certain person. But it's kind of hard because this is the real truth with the lawyer stuff.
Yeah.
Lawyers don't want a bunch of bad Yelp reviews. So when it comes to someone who is or whatever reviews, however.
Yeah, but lawyers like money.
Right. So I don't have a lot of money, unfortunately.
Really?
So I'm in a situation where like I don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of income, and you're supposed to unfuck yourself. How do you get a lawyer to properly represent you when you don't have anything that they want other than, I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar corporation that's spreading slander. So you think that would be incentive enough, but I don't know. That's a big we'll see. I'm trying to get a lawyer to really be interested in it, but it's a bit of a tough sell just because it's very controversial, and a lot of people don't.
Well, I'm sure they got their lawyers too, right?
No,
like if it's
a
big.
I do have a couple questions for you.
If anybody knows of a good lawyer, I'm all ears.
I do have a couple questions to you about Shiloh, right? And
what's
a couple viewers.
Before you ask that, Crow, let me just ask one thing. Looking at it objectively, right? Knowing the things that the basic, YouTube watcher has heard, right? Just asking the question. Looking at it objectively, could you see why people have this horrible opinion of you and why it kind of raises concerns for people? Could you look at it like that?
I didn't watch most, like 99 out of 100 hate videos I never watched. So I had no idea what people were saying for the most part about me. I was mostly keeping to myself on my own Discord server or where the fuck ever I was. And so when I started looking at
watch a Repsian video every now and then.
I don't think I've ever seen a full Repsian video. I don't think I ever have. I've seen bits and pieces. I've seen bits and pieces of shit, but I don't think I could ever sit through one. Maybe I will someday. I don't know. But when I saw the documentary and I was seeing all the shit they were saying about me, I was like blown away. Like I was like, they are making me out to be fucking Charles Manson, and these people won't even say what I did, but they're acting like I'm the equivalent of like a serial murderer. And I'm like, you got to be fucking like that Onision intro, dawn, the creepy music and the creepy music throughout the whole fucking documentary.
I do have a question about one thing that really does.
You should make that your intro from now on.
And so real quick.
Oh my god!
Shiloh at one point was having a seizure, and you did decide to film that, correct?
Yeah, she told me to upload it instead of making a different video.
So
that's the person.
So hold on.
Yeah.
While she was having a seizure, she told you to get the camera out.
No.
And film her.
No, she had so many episodes prior to that. I was kind of getting tired of it, so I was like, let's just show you what you're going through. And so I wanted to show her what she was going through. And after I showed her the footage, I was like, okay, so what we can share this with maybe other people who go through this, and get it up right away, because I had made a video every single day. And I said we could do that, or I could stay up all night and work on a different video. And she said that she wanted me to go to sleep with her. So we agreed that it would go online, and then went online, and everyone's freaking out. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
So in hindsight,
is that the two choices? So like, I could work all night on this other video, or I could upload your seizure.
That was literally how stupid the decision was. Yes, it was either I work all night on the next. Sound like a good decision.
Yeah,
it was a very fucking. But here's the thing: I think I was told that Shiloh admitted on Tumblr she was just fucking with me. So like that thing is like conveniently since been taken down, but there was apparently a video on Tumblr where she was talking about that. And there's also conveniently taken down her ex-boyfriend ranting about her putting him in jail and the Bowie knife thing, where she was threatening to put a Bowie knife in someone's chest, which is on onision.com/Shiloh, the text that she sent.
But that's what I'm saying. Looking at a video like that, though, you could see why that wouldn't be too endearing to the public.
I'm 100% on board with if you only watch anti-Onision videos, I look like the most insane motherfucker on earth. Like, I'm totally on board with that. But
no,
the problem,
not just anti-Onision. I'm just saying, like, a video like that, because I mean, that doesn't see in
well,
hindsight. I think that wasn't a good idea.
That's not an anti video. That's a video that you recorded.
Yeah, that's a video that you recorded and uploaded.
Did you see the end of it? Did you see the end of that video?
Did you put like links
to
still up? Where people get help? Is it still? Yeah, I don't think it's up anymore, right?
It's still up. The end of the video is us just fucking around, her laughing or smiling or whatever, like just chilling in the kitchen.
I don't recall.
Yeah, if you go to youtube.com/Onision,
I've only seen the documentary, Aura. So
and you look to the oldest videos, you can watch the whole thing. And they didn't include it in the documentary, but it's us just fucking around in the kitchen, just chilling, laughing. That's the video.
The whole thing.
Perfectly fine, but you said that one of the reasons why you wanted to upload it was so that you could share this with other people who go through this experience, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm sure that somewhere in that video you address it's a serious issue and you provide some sort of link over. So
yeah, that was the text. That was the text. There was a, you know how they do the like description of what the fuck's happening next or whatever. What do you call it? It's not a subtitle. It's just like, back in 1949, many men joined up and fought the whatever. Like, that was the text in between different cuts that explained what was going on and her process. And this is what makes sense. There's a section of that video where she's like, oh, that's my grandpa or whatever, or that's my so-and-so. I think she said that's my mom or someone else in her family. And they're like, they're not dead. And I'm like, no, they're not dead. And I'm like, wait, didn't you say you lost your memory? Because if you lost your memory, it would be the opposite, you know, because people die as time passes, not as time regresses. So she made that, and it was like really fucking confusing, even more so now looking back. Like, why did she say that? Like, they're not dead. And then they said, oh, there's my mom. My mom's so old. And I'm like, dude, your memory loss is like 3 years according to you. How are they suddenly aging in 3 years that much? Like, so many things she didn't make any fucking sense in that, which makes me believe in that person who told me that there was a Tumblr video that says she was just fucking with me, because it's just like shit didn't add up. So to give you an example of shit that Shiloh pulled, she did that fake seizure shit so much. Her other boyfriend mentioned it too, but she did that fake seizure shit so much that I got so like tired of the episodes. Like, it typically would happen right after we had an argument. She would just have this full, you know, like if you saw her argument with Edwin, or you saw her argument with Real Stream, she'll just outright threaten to kill herself. So she's having a fake seizure. She's having a fake seizure.
Yeah, I just skimmed through the video. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right, it's about 5 minutes long or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through it, and I don't see any point in that video where you're telling people they can go here for support. I see you filming her.
I didn't say they did have places to go for support. I said that there was a narrative through it talking about what she was going through. What's up?
I don't get how you think that's appropriate.
Oh,
I don't. I'm trying to figure it out.
You have to. So in some relationships, you get kind of used to like abnormal behavior, and when you get so used to abnormal behavior, it becomes really normalized for you in a lot of ways. That specific relationship was so normalized. Like me calling the cops on her, I called the cops on her at least 3 times. That became normal to me. Calling the cops on somebody. I was like, oh, here we go again. And by the 3rd time, I was just like, this is fucking scary, because I like whenever I break up with this chick, she would just like go full mental breakdown. And that 3rd time I called the cops on her, she threatened to kill herself and make it look like I did it. And we said that in front of the cops, and the cops were like, did you threaten to kill yourself, young lady? And she's like, I did. I'm not going to deny that. And then they hauled her away. And that was right after they gave me advice of, you know, be as far away from her as possible so she can't pull this shit again. But no, she had seizures or whatever the hell she was pretending to have, that she later allegedly said was fake. She had that so often just to throw a temper tantrum or whatever, that I finally said, you know what? I'm tired of listening to you tell me not to get an ambulance when this happens. I'm getting an ambulance. This is going to be dealt with by medical professionals. And I was warning her. She didn't react. So I started to dial, and she just magically
She's faking seizures, according to you. So you thought that it would be smart to record her during one of these supposedly maybe fake seizures, upload that afterwards. She says that she did threaten to kill herself, right? She left your home, okay? And why, if this person, in your own words, is whatever, right? Very toxic, I guess would be a very tame way of saying it. Why would you then bring her right back?
Bring her right back from what?
I'm talking about, like, there's a few months where you two are apart, and then she comes back in later. Yeah.
She told me she was pregnant. And then she was getting on WestJet. I used to say it was JetBlue, but I fucked up the jet. The jet part was the right place. So because I found out when I was looking at receipts that it was actually WestJet. But right before she got on, she's like, by the way, I'm not. She's like, by the way, I'm not pregnant. I'm like, yeah, I figured that might be.
So this girl, right, is having fake seizures, right? She's putting through all of this stress. 4 months later, she comes back, says she's pregnant, and you immediately buy her a ring and say you're getting married.
I don't think it was a. Maybe I might have been that fucking loco. I'm not sure, but it seems like it was because in her comeback video she's wearing a ring. So I don't know if I was that fucking loco.
Rev wants to touch on the supposed miscarriage and breakup, I believe, of Shiloh. Is that who?
Right. There's a few, dude. Like there's a few alleged miscarriages and shit. Like she did that Facebook post where she's like, in loving memory of Rogue, and she used a picture of someone else's premature baby. And it was supposed to, like, when she had a miscarriage, it was actually six weeks in, and she found out about it 12 to 13 weeks. So it was the size of it, like a peanut on the ultrasound, and it was a shitty ultrasound because we were going to a doula, not like a big hospital, but just like a fucking mom and pop shop kind of whatever like a doula is. Yeah, like a tiny place. And so they did this like little shitty ultrasound or whatever, and we just see a little bean or whatever in there, and they were saying that they need to remove it. And she didn't have health insurance, as far as I know, here, but she did have Canadian health insurance. So we were going to send her back to take care of that the most financially responsible way, which she later shamed me for doing. I was like, okay, I'm so sorry that, I'm financially responsible. But yeah, anyway, so I was sending her back for that. And then she posts a picture and she says, in loving memory of Rogue. And it's like a fucking 4-month-old or matured fetus or 5 or 6 months old. It looked like a full formed human, pretty much, only just not fully developed. And so that was one of the times, when she was like misleading about pregnancy. And then she said she was pregnant on the, this is prior when she said she was pregnant. So before the Rogue thing, she had said she was pregnant. She pushed her gut out and faked a doctor's note. Cat Sketch from Shane Dawson's channel looked at the photo, and she has a history with people, pregnancy and stuff. She was like her specialty or something as far as her schooling goes. And she was saying that's just Shiloh pushing her gut out. And I was like celebrating in front of Seer, like, yay, she's not pregnant. And that's because I didn't want to be with the psycho again, quote unquote. But then days pass, I get lonely, and I'm like, well, maybe she is pregnant though. Like maybe it is all real. And so I'm like convincing myself to take her back anyway. And so then I finally do, and it feels.
I guess I just don't understand that at all.
Because I'm a fucking idiot. That's the answer. I was fucking stupid. I was in love with somebody who I should not be in love with. This person was absolutely horrible with me. If you saw the comment section at the time, everyone's saying, this woman is so horrible to you, dude. Don't be with her. And I was just like, you guys are wrong. You don't respect her love. And you see in our videos where I'm just like pissing off my audience about how we're so in love or whatever. And it's just...
To be objective in that point in conversation. Sorry, my mistake. But just to be objective, I've done stupid shit like that before. And we know other people who've taken women back for stupider fucking reasons.
And then it's all genders, dude. So many people like there's like people who are as bad as somebody like a serious abuse victim, like they're gonna die serious or something like that, and they'll still take them back. It's just crazy. It's crazy what people will do and justify for the sake of their love or whatever, because the other person's convinced them or they've convinced themselves that that relationship is super meaningful when it's not.
Yeah. So when you were asked, like, what do you regret, right? I'm surprised that you don't actually mention Shiloh as being the thing that you regret.
No, I said I regret ever letting people into my life, or a general variation of that.
So it's not just Shiloh then; it's all these people that you've let into your life.
So I'm a tiny bit gray on Billy. Like I'm not entirely sure. I totally regret having Billy in my life, because Billy was a great learning experience as far as, finding out what my interests are as far as relationships go. And it helped strengthen my actual relationship, because I kind of discovered that I value my spouse so much. And I don't think I appreciated or respected them enough. And, I kind of got that, because there have been other people who you guys never heard of. There's been other people who never talk shit about us that nobody knows about. And that's because we didn't have to terminate a relationship with them because of criminal behavior or lies or anything like that. It just didn't work out. And that was it. Ironically, We were with somebody who was 27, and they were a former. Well, we weren't with them. They just kissed Kai, but they went on a couple of dates or something. That didn't really involve me much. But they were 27 and a former convict, and they were the most decent to us compared to the people who weren't former convicts or whatever. But no, yeah, I do regret for sure Shiloh, because she ripped my heart out when I found out she had cheated on me and got pregnant yet again with someone else's baby. So
have you ever cheated on anyone?
No. I've cuddled with someone while in a relationship with someone else.
Yes, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I cuddled because that was Billy. I cuddled with Billy before it was like official.
What's that mean?
And then after that we got in a relationship with her anyway. So I don't know if we were already dating or not dating already, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't PC. It pissed my husband also. Yeah.
Okay. So do you and Kai have an open relationship?
Right now, no.
Have you had one in the past?
Not open. Well, I mean, like if you're talking about the 26-year or the 27-year-old, I didn't mind. I didn't mind.
I am not a historian of you in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. I'm just saying for the sake of the answer. When Kai was dating the 27-year-old, they were not dating me, so that would probably be considered an open relationship in that regard.
So people are saying that you did have sex with Billy while you were with Kai.
Yeah, we were in a poly relationship. We all slept together. That wasn't exactly open, that was poly, right?
So is that the only poly relationship you've been in with Kai?
Official dating? I don't think so. There's been a recent person that we dated who's in their mid-20s.
Okay, and just because I just want to clarify the stuff with Sarah, right? You were never in a poly relationship with Sarah at any point. There's no sexual interaction between you and Sarah, or Sarah and Kai, or the three of you in any way.
Oh no, that's already been covered on onision.com/Sarah. Sarah outlines pretty well in the clips what happened. She repeatedly says nothing happened prior to her being an adult, and when she was an adult, that she said that she would only sign she would only sign an agreement to not try to ruin our lives or talk trash about us.
I'm asking you just yes or no. You can say no. It's fine.
So if you review onision.com/Sarah, you'll see that it's a yes, that we have.
That you were in a relationship with Sarah sexually.
As an adult. She was an adult, yes.
Okay.
That was due to the sexual extortion that she admitted to doing.
Okay, but prior to the sexual relationship, she was living with you and she was underage.
No. She had at some point been there for a few months, but she was not living with us prior to that happening. She was living back in Michigan.
At any point, was she living with you when she was underage?
At most for 3 months at one time, I think, because she was working. She had a job.
She was.
So that would be a yes.
I gave you your answer. I said she lived there for 3 months, I think, at one point.
Like yes or no answers to yes or no questions.
I feel like that's kind of a confusing thing to seek out, just because of the fact that like life is a very elaborate thing. It's not a black and white thing.
Say yes, and then all the things that you say right afterwards.
Well, then you can just edit out of context. That's the problem.
I don't edit shit. So.
No, I'm just saying like any viewer could just edit that out of context.
But is it true? Like if
you saw it, okay, for instance, you saw it in the documentary. They edited me constantly out of context. Like they take a comedy sketch and try to frame it like it was real, constantly. So that's why context matters.
Well, fine, then provide the context right afterwards. And when someone edits you out of context, provide the entire thing and prove what a lying little shithead they are.
Right, but you could easily get the yes answer by simply paying attention.
So it is a yes.
Can someone else tell him? That would be nice if one of you guys would translate for him.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Yeah, forgive me for being more direct here, and if you don't like that, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Did you cross the road?
If I ask you,
did you cross the road? I walked across the road.
If I ask
That's
you
a
a
yes or no question.
just say yes or no, and then provide your explanation right afterwards. It's the
I
easiest thing in the world to do.
What's your question to him? What are you asking him?
I asked him if at any point Sarah was living with them when she was underage.
Do you genuinely not know the answer after everything I've said? I've repeatedly said that she was with us for like 3 months at one time or another.
Okay, so yes, she was for 3 months.
Okay, so you can listen.
Okay, well, see, how hard is this for you? Yes, she was living with you when she was underage.
It doesn't have to be hard.
Home, and then when she was an adult, went right back to you, and you engaged her in a sexual way.
She came back.
And according to you, what she did was extortion because somehow she extorted you.
Yeah, she admitted to it on onision.com/Sarah. She admitted to it twice. She admitted to it. She actually outlined exactly what happened. She said I had multiple people sign non-disclosure agreements because of my fallout with Vincent Sear, a longtime friend of mine. We had a bad falling out during the Trump election for obvious reasons. We were arguing about Trump, and we went on a attack campaign of each other, destroyed our friendship. And so I was like, what can I do to help remedy this in the future? So I started thinking about having NDAs so people couldn't go on attack campaigns. They would have to handle their stuff privately rather than publicly and maintain their friendship. So I had people sign this. Sarah was one of them included, but Sarah said that the only way she would sign an NDA is if she got what she wanted and she was repeatedly implying sex. So she in her live stream said this twice. And then people go around saying, watch out, you might be a victim of Onision. And I'm like, you mean if you try to sexually extort me as an adult? Like that's really what you're doing?
So to be clear here, right? Your definition of sexual extortion, just so I can be as clear as I can, right?
It's actually the
I don't want to take you out of context here.
The definition
she sexually extorted you by saying that the only way she would sign an NDA was if you had sex with her and you said sure.
So she had actually previously said that if she wanted to, she could destroy my life. So that's the full context of what that she was like kind of joking, but the problem is that it was a really real thing. If she wanted to say anything, and she proved that actually by doing it, she actually admitted in the live stream with Blair that this is exactly why I signed the NDA.
So you were supposed
to sign the NDA.
So how old was she at this point?
She's 18 and a half.
So at this point, she was 18.
18 and 5 months, I think. Maybe 18 and 6. I don't know.
Okay, 18 and a half. Fine. So at 18 and a half, right?
Oh, hold on. August, September, October, November, December, January. So she was about 5.5 months.
So at 18 and a half, this girl who you knew when she was not of age, right, came to you and said the only way that she would sign an NDA was if you had sex with her. Right, and you felt so pressured, right?
I knew she could destroy my life if she wanted to. All she would have to do is say one thing, and then my life would be fucking over. And she proved that with the documentaries, or not with the documentaries, but with all the interviews she did.
Did she sign the NDA?
She actually denied grooming, and she admitted to the exact thing that I just told you happened. And yeah, she did sign it. She said it happened the morning after or something like that. But to give you an idea, sexual extortion is a felony. It's a person who commits offense of sexual extortion if, with purpose to coerce another person to engage in sexual contact or sexually explicit content, the person communicates a threat to damage.
Hey, wait a minute! I thought you didn't know the law.
Well, I googled it. You guys said I should use Google.
That's right. I did say that.
Communicates a threat to damage property or harm reputation of another person. So that's very clearly sexual extortion, which is what she admitted to, and yet. For some reason, like the documentary didn't cover that. Nobody covered that. Nobody gave a shit, even though like that's the basis. So like when people say, "Watch out for this guy, he might get you," it's like I might get you if you sexually extort me. Like
is sexual extortion a crime?
Yeah, it's a crime punishable like 5 years in prison or something like that.
So you contacted the police afterwards, yeah?
Oh, if only it were that simple.
Why isn't it?
So when my husband. The rapist of my husband, someone who was publicly admitting to be a rapist, he confessed to his crime, and he did it through text, and he also did it publicly on his Twitter. We took that to the police, and the police did jack shit with it. We literally took it to the police, and they didn't do anything. We did a follow-up. They still didn't do anything. They had people who were corroborating the story, still didn't do anything. So when you have a failure in justice there, you're sitting here going, well, what's the point in, like, how could I possibly do anything at this point? Considering not only is there an age problem, people are just not automatically going to blame the older person. They can't say, oh, you can't be a victim, you're old and stuff. On top of seeing totally legitimate cases go to the police and get shut down. So it's hard to say, why didn't you do that when you have a real knowledge of the legal system and the fact that even solidified real cases that are as open and closed as possible get denied all the time and ignored.
So so I guess I'm confused here, right? Because I thought that when you were saying that she sexually extorted you, it was she will not sign an NDA unless you two have sex. Now you're saying that what she actually said was she would destroy your life.
No, she said that prior. No, she said that prior. She said, I could destroy your life if I wanted to, and she made it a joke, like it was a joke. And then later on, we were asking about the NDA, and she said she'd only sign it if she got what she wanted, and what she wanted was that she indicated. And the next morning, she was all happy about herself and signed it. So
that's not extortion.
That is extortion.
No, by definition. No, actually, it's not.
No, actually,
you just said that somebody, she was joking with you. You acknowledged yourself that it was a joke.
Oh, was it a joke?
Okay. If anything, you exchanged sexual favors with this girl.
Did she?
You just admitted to exchange sexual favors with this girl. She would have sex with you if she signed the NDA.
Right. She never went public. You're right. She never did. You're right. No. You're right. She never destroyed my life. No, you're right. She never destroyed my life. She never went public. You're right.
You need the NDA though, not her.
No, it was a joke. She never destroyed my life. We're not talking right now because she was just joking. So this is not happening. We're not having this conversation because she never actually went to destroy my life. So it was just a joke. It was a joke. This never fucking happened. You don't even know about Sarah. You don't even know about Sarah and I having a discussion on this NDA or anything like that.
Don't get upset.
It was a joke. Well, you're so wrong though, and I just proved you wrong because you're like it's a joke, but
you so did.
No, you said it. You said that because it was a joke, it's not valid, and yet here it is. The joke not being a joke.
You said it was a joke, not me. You said it was a joke.
No, I said she portrayed it or framed it as a joke. Like she presented it as a joke, so I took it as a joke. And it turns out it's not a joke. Obviously, if you look at how things are now, it was not a joke.
Is it maybe because what you did was inappropriate and most people hearing what you had just said would find it grossly inappropriate?
To sexually extort someone? I was a victim of sexual extortion and I'm grossly inappropriate?
What did I do? Like you exchanged sexual favors for an NDA.
Exchange sexual favors? So everyone who's sexually extorted is gross to you.
Well, you got something out of it.
That's what sexual extortion is. So if you say, I'm not going to ruin your life, or I'm not going to go talk crap about you, or I'm not going to try to hurt you.
Buddy, you just admitted to being a prostitute.
Let me talk.
You just admitted to being a prostitute.
Oh, okay. So everybody who's
get something of value to you. You just admitted to being a fucking prostitute. It's okay. I don't have an issue with sex workers, buddy, but you just admitted to doing that and you're calling it extortion. I don't see it that way.
So what is that? What is sexual extortion to you? Define sexual extortion. If you think that's not sexual extortion, threatening to destroy someone's life in a joking context, and then later on actually doing it after you get what you want. What is sexual extortion to you?
Hey,
are you Googling it now?
No. Of course I am.
And you're Googling it? You just described to me was prostitution, sir.
But you won't even look up sexual extortion.
A growing form of sexual exploitation. That's only God's.
If somebody says, I'm going to hurt you if you don't do this, you're not a prostitute for doing it. You're a person who's responding to fear with not being hurt.
So that's not what you said. You said that she was joking about destroying your life, right?
Was she joking? Because she destroyed my life. So
I joke about destroying Aura's life all the goddamn time.
No, you don't. And then do you proceed to destroying his life?
I made a fake Google Doc on Aura.
Did you proceed to destroying his life? Is his life destroyed?
People were very upset about that. They were very mad at you.
It sounds like she just said what happened, right? And people sided with her because what you described is gross and fucking weird.
Oh, so her saying that
you just said that you exchanged sex to get an NDA out of a girl.
So wait, so she's the good guy in this situation? Because she said to somebody that she would only not go around talking shit about them if they had sex with her? That makes her a good person? That's not gross to you?
How's this?
No. What is she?
I will not accept an NDA by giving you my dick.
Sorry, yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes or no? You're a whore. It's okay.
Are you saying
it's okay? It's okay. I have no issues with sex workers, but what you just described to me was having sex in exchange for something of value to you.
Okay, so if somebody threatens to kill somebody, if they don't have sex with them, you're now blaming the rape victim.
Well, that's not what happened.
Well, you're blaming. You're
that's
saying
not what happened,
Onision. There's social death. There's social
death.
Death of their career. Death of their social life, death of their image, death of everything.
Clearly, after she exchanged sex for this NDA, she still went on to expose what you two fucking did. Yes or no?
Which shows you that she was
serious. It shows me that you prostituted yourself to get an NDA out of somebody. And you're calling that extortion because later on she went to expose your weird, creepy fucking relationship.
Let me read womanslaw.org to you yet again.
Can I ask a quick question real quick?
A person who commits the offense of sexual extortion, if with the purpose to coerce another person to engage in sexual contact or sexually explicit conduct, the person communicates a threat to damage a property or harm the reputation of the other person. So she threatened to harm my reputation if I didn't have sex with her. That is carbon copy sexual extortion. And you're saying that anyone who goes through that, like if a woman is threatened by a man...
That's not the conversation you had with her. Onision, listen for once, okay? Listen to me. If she said, you have sex with me or I will destroy your life, that would be extortion. That's not what happened, you idiot.
She threatened to destroy my life.
In your own words, that is not what happened.
Okay, so if on Wednesday...
In your own words, that is not what happened. She did not say, I will destroy your life unless you have sex with me. That is not what happened.
Screaming doesn't make you right, sir.
So, can I step in really quickly?
Being right makes me right. I'm just screaming because,
Well, you just said that everyone who's a victim of sexual extortion is now a prostitute.
You are not a victim of sexual extortion, sir.
Actually, it's carbon copy sexual extortion. When somebody on Wednesday When somebody on Wednesday says,
I'm sorry, but it's not.
When somebody on Wednesday,
but again, it's not.
When somebody on Wednesday,
but again, it's not.
Oh my god, what the fuck is this?
You just let me finish
what I'm saying without just saying the same shit.
Hold on a minute.
I just want to finish.
Let me ask you really quick. Let me ask you a really quick question, Greg. Okay, why the fuck would you have an NDA in the first fucking place? I mean,
I just explained it. Did you miss it?
No, but yeah, I did. Maybe I did. But was it a legal document that was actually processed by a lawyer, or was it something that you typed up in fucking MS Word?
It was a legal document from some legal site.
Do you have actual copies of that?
Yeah.
Can you provide those?
I mean, I can provide it. I can provide it in witch hunt section of onision.net/.
Well, I mean, because it's funny because it's saying.
What?
Oh, shit, he cut out.
Well, Sen, you wanted a turn to speak.
Who, me? Oh, yeah. Onision, why do you get involved with all these crazy broads? What's wrong with you?
I get asked that question a lot. It's because I'm a terrible taste of people.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, clearly. By the way, I'm Sen. I'm kind of a big deal in my head. So, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it's good to have a self-esteem.
You can relate with that, right?
So anyway, I'm sorry to go back to my point.
You.
The reason why I asked is if it was notarized is for the mere fact that you also faked a document about divorce papers that actually.
Oh come on, the fake meltdown videos
from Florida. Yeah,
from Florida. I said it was Florida in the video.
Okay,
didn't I?
So how can we legitimately trust the fact that you have legal notarized documents?
You're mixing a comedy sketch with real life.
NDAs. Was it a comedy sketch?
Yes, it was. I released the bloopers. Did you see the bloopers?
No, but at the same time, you're posting images of a divorce papers from your current husband, Kai, from Florida.
Yes,
and you want to say that you have legitimized legal documents for NDAs. Why the fuck would you need NDAs in the first place, especially if you're going to be?
Do you really think those videos were real? Do you really think those videos were real? The meltdown videos? You really thought I poured kombucha on my head out of a rage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shit does happen, dude. People do get pissed off to that level.
Hold on. I think
I still remember on YouTube where people would take their Xboxes and throw them at walls.
Even in your earlier content, though, you would fucking go off about veganism and fucking meat-free bullshit. So,
vegetarian.
Yeah, what is not dying of heart disease? Ugh, gross.
Okay.
Yucky.
Rev, you were asking other questions too earlier. Do you still want to ask them, or you already got your answer?
There's too many distractions. I'm sorry.
Rev had asked earlier, how old was Kai when you got with her? I don't know if he still cares to ask that.
Kai is a he.
Sorry.
Come on, Aura.
I forget, dude. It's a challenge.
Wasn't I do believe it was some time ago. Wasn't Kai like 14 when he started conversing with her?
No, it was 16, right, Onision?
No, it was neither. We started talking right before the Shiloh and I thing fell apart. So it was like Kai introduced himself as like just a fan. And then as February rolled around, Kai upped it a notch and was talking about feelings more and shit.
So what's the deal about you taking
hold
her and her dad?
Rev, real quick. How old was Kai at this point when you first started talking with Kai?
I was told Kai was almost 18, but turned out I think he was 17 and a half. That was when I was 27, I think. Or no, 26. 26 and 17 was the age.
So you're 35 now. How old is Kai?
26.
Okay, well, chat's saying that Kai's dad said that Kai was 15 at the time.
Yeah.
So Kai's dad was...
Yeah. Have you ever said something like, are any of you guys bad at math?
Yeah, I suck.
All right, so we were having I was having a conversation. I was having a conversation with Kai's dad at Olive Garden, and he said, "Come back in 10 years." And I in my recitation of what happened, I said, "Oh, I'm just supposed to wait till Kai's 25 or whatever," and that was like a fucking bad at math shit. And it was 27, but for some fucking reason I was like 25, and so when I misspoke in the video. Everyone took it literally, and instead of I fucking slipped up and said one thing that wasn't accurate in my thousands of videos or whatever. So like that's like one of those things where like I don't think a lot of people are gonna believe me, but the truth is the truth. So like it's kind of ridiculous to say that.
Well, people are saying that you said on your website that Kai was around 2011.
2011?
Yeah.
Saying that's you mean like December 2011 when I first got a tweet or something?
I'm asking you. It's on your website.
You said on your website that Kai was around. Well, I would need to see confirmation of that because I don't recall ever saying that.
I got a question. Is it the truth or your truth?
Yeah.
Okay. Literal the truth. Literal the truth.
Yeah.
The first time I ever spoke to Kai was at the soonest, December 2011. Soonest.
Real quick, Nick Diorio, he wrote in chat. He said, "Okay, so I think the extortion point isn't strong, but if you take Crow's argument and reframe it as a guy made a girl have sex with him after threatening her, would you call her a prostitute?"
Yeah, there's a double standard.
So the biggest question I have to ask you, Greg, is why the fuck would you start dating one of your own fans? I mean, that's kind of fucked up. You're technically using your platform as a means to actually gain trust of these women that fucking fawn over you. So why would you date your own fans?
First of all, they said December 11, so 16. No, that's not true. Kai's birthday is in October. So... yeah, and I didn't actually meet Kai till February something, whatever day it was.
I think that doesn't answer my question. Why would you?
Sorry, I was responding to the comment. What did I do? What did you say?
Why would you use your platform to actually date one of your own fucking fans?
Okay, so when you ask that question, you're basically questioning, should you have an 8+ year marriage? Should you have an awesome family?
No, you're putting words in my mouth. It's a direct fucking question. All I asked is why would you use your platform to date one of your fans and end up fucking marrying them? It's not hard. It's not complicated. How hard is that to fucking answer?
You guys are really angry. Are you okay?
I'm not angry. What are you talking about?
You guys get really angry, really like fucking Trump.
I know you're not talking about me. I've been happy this whole time.
I've been just cracking up about the whole thing.
When you say using your platform, that's like a very it's like a pre-structured question. Nobody's
it is. I mean, if you think about it, so wasn't Kai a fan of yours?
Did I
yes or no?
say
Kai a fan of yours? Yes or no?
Did someone tweet at me a lot? Yes. Did I notice?
Was she a fan?
Did I notice their tweets eventually? Yes. Were they a fan? Yes. Is it a problem? Is it a problem? Is it a problem to have an 8-year marriage?
Why would you date your fans when you actually have a platform that is based upon millions of subscribers?
This is funny.
And pick that person out. Why would you date your own fans?
Somebody comes up to you and they're like, hey, I really like your stuff and I really like your videos and I think you're really great and I'm really vibing with what you do. And you're supposed to go, get the fuck away from me. Like, I don't get that logic. Like, if somebody really likes you, that's kind of the whole great thing about dating is they like you. Like, why would you go on a date with someone who likes you? Ew.
Well,
you know?
I was just about to ask him that, Crow.
so I'm sorry. Someone did say ask Onision how old Kai was when he fucked him, or something. Can he answer that at least?
I think I probably already answered that.
I missed it and apparently chat did too. So how old?
Yeah. All I'm gonna say on that is like we had sex for the first time at some point in 2012.
So that would be 17 then.
Well, Kai was 18 in 2012 as well.
So you waited.
Right? You waited. Sorry. August or October is the birth date.
Huh?
Yeah, you said August or October.
Am I allowed to have comfort zones? Is that okay?
Well, I mean, if you don't want to answer, that's fine.
I don't want to talk about my sex life like that. No, not really. Like, I don't want to be dropping dates over here and shit like that.
I can understand why you wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I gotta peace out in a minute. Do you guys have anything you?
Well, I just want to ask one more question. So, since all of this stuff has actually come out in the past year with Chris Hansen and everything like that, how is your wife doing and your kids? By the way, I mean, because they seem to
right after.
Sorry, my apologies.
Yeah. Right after Sarah decided to follow through with her threat to destroy our lives, Kai got extremely depressed and went on antidepressants and saw a therapist and is still on antidepressants or anti-anxiety and shit. But the rest of the family's pretty good.
Are you guys still married?
Yeah. We went on vacation yesterday, so that was cool.
Cool.
For a day.
Anybody else got anything? Anybody in chat want to say anything? Because a lot of the questions, somebody did ask you, Onision. They want a definitive answer. Are you planning to sue or take legal action against the documentary?
Literally everyone tells me I should, so I'm going to continue pursuing that option.
Okay.
I haven't seen a single person say you don't have a case. I mean, Crow probably thinks so. Crow's probably like, fuck you.
If you do actually, if you
anything we can do to fuck with the people who made the documentary.
I jack off to your documentary, fucking.
Hey, but listen, anything you can do to fuck with people who made that documentary, not my support.
God, they're just. It's really hard to root for them. They're shitty.
So, if you do actually plan on suing, you're not going to seek personal legal representation, are you?
I don't know anything about the system. So I don't know how to answer your question.
Yeah.
Well, let me give you some help here, right? Because at a certain point in the documentary, they say that you abuse Kai, right? So Kai is your husband. You two have an amicable relationship. I'm sure that Kai would not stand by that statement whatsoever. Correct?
Right. Yeah. No. Well, to convey what Kai feels, Kai despises Chris Hansen. Kai was here when Chris Hansen showed up, trespassed on her property, and that was very upsetting. Kai despises Regina for sure, hates the fuck out of Regina, and Sarah I think hates the fuck out of Regina. I don't know if Shiloh likes Regina. Despises the fuck out of Shiloh. Despises the fuck out of a lot of people. Doesn't so much hate Billy. None of us really hate Billy that much, actually, surprisingly. But yeah, no. Kai's pretty on my side because I've stood by Kai through a lot of shit, and we both made we both had our moments of not so great times. So, yeah.
Somebody over here had a question asking you, Onision, why aren't you more direct with your answers?
Because life is complicated and I don't want to get edited out of context more than I already am.
There you go. There we go. I'm trying to just go coast through here, see if anybody else has anything that they want to ask. But
I got sent a question here. Someone asked me, you said you filmed Shiloh during one of the seizures. That may have been a fake seizure, but you're saying that she was conscious during it. But why would you need to film her to show her if she was conscious?
Yeah, this is what's great about telling the truth, because you can just match what I said already with what I'm saying now, just in case. Because like Shiloh forgets what the fuck she wrote, what she says. I'm gonna answer it. I'm just saying I like bragging about being honest. It's a personality defect, bragging about being honest all the time. So honest.
Oh, there it is.
God. My Trump towers are so big. Anyway,
I bet they are, buddy.
No, but as I said before,
Jesus, Orlin.
I talked so much that I forgot the question. Why did I film it? Okay, so it was she had episodes before, so I became used to that behavior. It was normalized to me, and she had indicated in the past, and I had the impression that she wouldn't want. I don't know how she communicated it, but there was just like this very intense Repstein grooming. What? No.
Yeah. You brought that up.
But it was very obvious to me that she didn't want me to call because of our relationship and how we had never called an ambulance in the past, no matter her episodes before. So instead, I filmed it so I could show it to her. And when I showed it to her, she was happy to have me upload it online, because I introduced that concept of me continuing to edit another video or make another video or just upload that video as an educational thing. Like, this is what happened to Shiloh. She's gone through this. And so I uploaded that instead because she wanted me to go to bed with her. She also accused me of having... Dude, did you guys see this in the documentary? She accused me of having sex with her 8 times a day.
I've heard about that. I've heard about that.
In the third episode, there's a text that's shown on a tweet that's shown on the screen. She's like, he was into jailbait, hentai, and he fucked me 8 times a day.
Whoa.
And I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Speaking of which, I got a question for you.
8 times a day? That's fucking inhuman. I would have no dick. It would be blistered the fuck off or something.
I got a question for you.
Is it Colton's question, Rev, by chance?
No. This is aside from the fact. There was a video that actually came out of you basically abusing Shiloh and you throwing candy corn at her.
Yeah. I was dressed as the Joker.
Can you actually elaborate on that video in particular?
I was dressed as the Joker in that video. She was dressed as Harley Quinn. We had just shot a video about finding Harley Quinn in the middle of nowhere, drugged up, and then I put
not that video, not that.
No,
video.
I'm saying if you look at the makeup, you look at the background, you also look at what I was wearing during that video, you realize that I was actually taking part in an extended version of the previous video. It was me. The Joker dressed in the Joker's outfit, throwing candy corn at Harley Quinn in a video called "My Boyfriend Abuses Me" or whatever. Do you think it's serious, or do you think it's more of the same shit?
I'm asking you. If
it wasn't serious. It was a fucking joke. But the reason we uploaded it was to make fun of the people who were saying that our relationship was abusive. And if you look at it, it has a video filter on it, and it has her logo at the end. It wasn't like a leaked video. It was an actual intentional release. Our relationship continued after that video for quite a few more videos. So it wasn't a real thing. In the video, they're portraying this idea like, they'll never know what I'm saying. Then why did the logo roll right after? Why was I dressed as the Joker? Why did we just record another sketch? We did things to troll people. Like, they kept showing that GoPro on my head walking into the shower. That was a sketch too. They're all fucking sketches. The only thing that wasn't a sketch was maybe like the seizure video and her saying she had sepsis and shit. Like, she actually told me she had sepsis. People told me that it wasn't possible. I just believed her. So I don't know what the fuck happened there, but. Yeah.
All right. Well, you said you need to head out, so I just have one final question for you.
Is it just you calling me a prostitute again?
Oh no, buddy.
Well, I mean, you did shit up your ass, so I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, me and the amazing atheist, right?
Honest question, right? How do you think this stream went for you tonight?
I got to see you angry, so that's cool.
Well, Colton has a question. I don't know if you got it or want to ask.
Sorry. Okay. Final question for Colton. What was it, Aura?
He wants to know, Onision, can you please say how and when you first heard of the Repstein grooming allegations?
I don't know. I think it was on Discord.
There you go.
It was a while ago.
Yeah. See, yeah.
By the way, I'm the one who started the baby carrot thing. I don't know. It's so funny that went so viral.
Yeah. Give me $100 on Onision.
Give me $100. See, I can't afford the fucking lawyer. He can't afford the fucking lawyer. He's gonna give you the $100 fucking dollars.
Starting with the best question of the night. Thank you.
Yeah, he demanded that shit. He didn't even ask. He's like,